Breaking news: Russian hackers have just breached Keir Starmer's defenses, and now sensitive information is leaking out faster than he can manage the fallout. But that's not even the worst of it. Trump is waiting in the wings, poised to derail Starmer's EU ambitions with one devastating policy move. Meanwhile, global leaders are circling like sharks, eager to chip away at Britain's influence. How did we end up with a leader who can't even keep his own ship afloat? Starmer's troubles have reached a new low. We're talking about a major cybersecurity failure that has him sweating bullets. That email address he's been using for years? Turns out, it was about as secure as a cardboard box in a storm. What's even more shocking is that security services warned him back in 2022 that his inbox was compromised. But did he act on it? No, he kept using it, and now the hackers have struck gold. What did they find? Sensitive details about Ukraine just sitting there unprotected. You'd think the leader of the opposition would know better. And it wasn't just Starmer who got caught out, his shadow defense secretary got hit too. These Russian hackers were all over Labour's leadership, and they didn't stop at snooping. They sent fake meeting invites to top Labour figures, causing chaos as MPs scrambled to figure out which meetings were real and which were pranks. Now Starmer's team is in full panic mode, trying to figure out what was leaked and how much damage has been done. It's a national security crisis, and the timing couldn't be worse. Starmer's flip-flopping on policies and inability to connect with voters already has him on thin ice, and now this massive security breach has only made things worse. But this isn't just about incompetence, this is about the security of the country. If the leader of the opposition can't even secure his own emails, how can we trust him to protect the nation? And as if that wasn't enough, Donald Trump is making waves from across the pond with a proposal that could crush Starmer's EU dreams. Trump's plan, called Kanzuk, could be the end of Starmer's hopes for a close relationship with the EU. Kanzuk is an alliance between Canada, Australia, New Zealand, and the UK. Think of it as the old British Empire, minus the colonial baggage. If this alliance becomes a reality, it would be the world's largest country by land mass and the third largest economy. Trump sees this as a way for the UK to avoid EU trade tariffs, potentially securing free trade with three major economies without the hassle of EU bureaucracy. But Starmer is still desperately trying to cozy up to Brussels, claiming the UK needs to make Brexit work and improve relations with the EU. But with Kanzuk on the table, the EU might not look so attractive anymore. If Trump wins again and pushes for Kanzuk, it could shift the UK's global position drastically, giving us more bargaining power with the EU while they're already struggling with their own issues. But while Starmer is preoccupied with the EU, world leaders like Macron, Xi Jinping, and even India's Modi are making moves, leaving the UK in the dust. While Starmer focuses on his EU obsession, countries like China and Russia are making power plays. Britain's once prominent global influence is now a shadow of what it was. We used to have a say in the Pacific, but now even Australia is looking at us with suspicion, and Russia is pushing its weight around in Europe. Meanwhile, our so-called special relationship with the US is looking more strained every day. The Americans are treating us like an afterthought, and the EU, despite the Brexit negotiations, has no interest in getting cozy with the UK. Under Starmer's leadership, Britain's global standing has plummeted. We've gone from being a major diplomatic player to an awkward loner. The once feared Union Jack now barely raises an eyebrow, and our military is shrinking fast. Meanwhile, we're desperate for trade deals, willing to bend over backward to make any agreements, even with countries that used to be in awe of us. Our once strong cultural influence is barely a blip on the radar anymore, and our allies are starting to turn away. It's a tough reality to face. Britain is now the last kid picked for the international football team. But the real danger is lurking in the shadows: our national security. This cyber attack has exposed potentially sensitive military and intelligence information, putting us at risk in ways we can't even fully comprehend yet. Our nuclear deterrent, the cornerstone of our defense strategy, might be compromised, and our allies are now hesitant to share sensitive information with us. Meanwhile, countries like China, Iran, and even Russia are taking full advantage of our weakened position, pushing their own agendas with no regard for our interests. Starmer's weak leadership has turned the UK into a global laughingstock. Britain used to command respect on the world stage, but now we're seen as a weak, unreliable partner. Trade deals that were once in our grasp are slipping away, and even smaller nations are pushing us aside. Meanwhile, the Russians have stolen our secrets, and we don't even know what they're doing with them. Our allies are getting nervous, and countries that once looked to us for guidance are now turning their backs. It's a frightening realization. Under Starmer, Britain has gone from ruling the waves to barely staying afloat, and there's no sign that it's going to get any better. Don't miss out on the next big update. Hit that subscribe button and turn on the notifications. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.